Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. It is championship weekend. These teams are going to deliver some very entertaining football this weekend. I know that. The NFL has had an amazing year. Like, the playoffs have been incredibly entertaining. And I think these are going to be good games. I don't think we're going to be let down at the death here.
No, it's been a great group of games. Obviously, the real stinker maybe could be called Seattle Niners, and I mean it started with a bang. And I have Seattle futures, so I don't care that was a blowout. I mean, the worry going into that game for some was like, oh, what if Darnold's bad because he's hurt and the game stinks? When it was actually like, hey, think a little harder.
What if the Niners are
What if the Niners defense
yes,
so bad? And I do want to address something real quick because of our famous shill / sycophant / I'll tweet anything if you pay me enough to Adam Schefter.
Oh yeah,
tweeted out 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey is believed to be the first player in NFL history to be a finalist for MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and comeback, all in the same season. Incorrect. You know how many years back? You know how many years back you have to go to disprove that?
Last year.
1 year. Joe Burrow was,
oh my gosh,
was in all three categories, and actually before they released finalists, they didn't used to do that. Adrian Peterson was as well in 2012. So I don't know what person sent him that, hey, tweet this, without even.
I know who. It was Christian McCaffrey's.
It was Christian McCaffrey's agent. Yeah,
obviously. Holy
man.
shit! I love that. Oh man,
it's one thing if it was like, oh, actually, there was a guy in 1997 and he got one vote for comeback player of the year, and you missed it. It was last year.
It's a shame that he's just too big to fail, and he's not going to probably have any consequences for just being that wrong, but that's cool. It's funny that happened. Let's get into these games. But before we do, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Curveball. I would usually save this for
curveball in high school.
You cannot hit a curveball. Well, this one's gonna be tough. I really honestly should have prepped you for it, and I haven't really. But I kind of want to talk it out myself. We don't have an hour's worth of content on these two games. Spoiler alert. And I'm not going to tell you. I only have one real bet. Real is in fully staked cider total, and we'll get there. But of the different combinations we could have for the Super Bowl, as you sit here today, is there this was the one I would like the best because it's going to present the most appetizing betting angle for the game? Right? If you're like, oh man, if these guys get these guys, the market's going to be so high on blank and they're going to be so wrong. Right? Is there a perfect storm of a matchup where you're going to feel like you have a serious edge?
Maybe it is Rams Patriots because I think at that point, a likely scenario, a possible scenario is Rams win a close game. They don't look all that great because they played a real tough defense and they get it done in the end. And then the Patriots, we have what percentage chance is it just a horrific Stidham game? 25? I mean Peterman levels. Peter
like 20, 15, 20.
Okay. Yeah. We get that outcome where the Patriots just walk their putt in and then at that point you have a coaching mismatch. And I would probably, I still think that the Rams would be favored, but not by enough. Because the Rams would have just been coming off. I have a lot of respect for the Patriots defense. They are not the Seattle defense. They cannot do what the Seattle defense can do. And I would think the Rams wouldn't be favored by enough in that spot. I'd be most excited if it was Stidham has his one game wonder and goes up against Seattle, and then Seattle.
That was my pick. That was my pick.
Well, I just don't know that the market wouldn't.
That does the least amount for me personally with my futures book, but it's the game I most want to bet.
Do you think it? Well, and I wonder, it wouldn't be the same as the Niners game where it's just like, hey, this is a fully fleshed out good offense with a good play caller against a skeleton defense, and they may score 30 points here. Obviously, they got some help with special teams and defense getting them to where they got, but the offense looks very good. Obviously, the Broncos defense is much, much better than that, but it's a case where Stidham would be in trouble.
I would think so too.
They can get pressure with just 4. But when they bring blitzes, it's like, hey, we might bring 7. And there's like 9 guys up here. You don't know which 6, which 7.
Yeah. The misdirection especially, man.
Die against that defense, it feels like. And maybe I kind of passed that one up because I feel like it'd be like an 8-point. It'd be like 8-point dogs.
Yeah. No.
I think 8.5 was the look ahead, and that's probably good. But you're right, and I think what you're saying is there's an outsized distribution of blowouts in that case.
Yeah,
that would be fun for Seattle alts. I think maybe that's where your head is.
Yeah,
it would be a maybe terrible Super Bowl for the casual viewer.
Sure,
which is funny because one of the worst. One of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched was Seattle Denver.
Oh yes, no question.
From like 15 years ago, where
it
started on the safety. Like
I had Seattle in that one as dogs.
From a casual standpoint,
so fun.
That was a horrific Super Bowl because it was like, oh, hey, guess what? It's over, and we haven't even got to the halftime props.
Yeah. God, that was a fun one.
It's funny that we'll get Finn's fan. We're going to get to this because I wanted Drew's opinion on this. My head is very split on the usage for Stidham.
Sure.
And I tell you what, I am going to regurgitate some stuff I read a lot. I don't get as much chances to listen to podcasts. I listened to one today. Can you guess which NFL podcast I listened to today?
Man,
I very, very rarely get a chance.
Forward Progress?
It was not. It was this. I don't even know what it's called, I guess. I'm sorry to that podcast. It was Sumer Sports.
Ah, yes.
It was supposed. It's the one where it's Syed with that gal, Lindsay.
Yeah, sure.
But she couldn't make it, so it was Syed and Tej.
Oh, cool.
So that's why I listened.
I just read their
So I always read their
newsletter.
thing.
Yeah, their newsletter is great.
It said it was on like YouTube. I said
nominated for a Divey this year. I like
absolutely.
Yeah,
I like the way they break it down. So you know how they do their newsletter, how it's offense versus defense, defense versus offense.
Sure.
That's how they did their podcast. There were some good nuggets in there. If you need some more listening, I would recommend whatever. I don't know what it's called. I did it on YouTube in the background, so it was just, the Sumer Sports one with Tej, Seth, and Sean Syed. If
you're looking for it, just go to Tej Seth's Twitter. I'm sure there's a link to it. Anyway, good newsletter. Appreciate those guys. The Stats and Scheme newsletter is the one I was thinking of.
My big unexpected points, Mike Tanier, and then the Stats and Scheme. That's
all good.
Kind of required.
All good readings. Okay, let's get into the first game then. I got to own being wrong on this one. I thought the market was going to be much, much colder for Stidham, but apparently people are unwilling to acknowledge that there could be a huge, huge difference between Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham. I've heard some funny stuff too. People really kind of getting hot on Stidham watching his preseason tape this year. It's like, I don't know, man. Pretty different going up against preseason defenses versus.
Oh no, I'm going to sprinkle it throughout. It wasn't just I heard one thing.
That really.
I will sprinkle.
Light bulb went off, and this is a bit now.
Well, and funny enough, I do have one right off the bat with that, and it was especially when you listen to another podcast or you read something and you already have something in your head. And
was it the Diggs?
You're like,
was it the
oh yeah?
Was it the 11 personnel Diggs thing?
No, so it has
Oh,
to do with
that one was for me. I was already like ready to bet like Diggs most receiving yards for the week, blah blah blah, and then that just threw more fuel on it.
So they did obviously like what the Patriots offense and Josh McDaniels can do against how how Denver lines up on defense, and if they're going to win their 1-on-1s, and Drake May has a good deep ball. Like I like that look as well. But mine was the Sean Payton with backups, because I got to thinking about, hey, remember when Teddy Bridgewater came in and went like 5-0? Remember when Taysom Hill had to start and they're just like, we run the Wildcat today. Guess what? This is the offense we're running because we're dancing with who brung us and he's hurt. So we're going to run this offense. Like, I got to thinking about that, how Sean Payton has been a really good coach when it comes to adversity and getting it done with whoever's out there. And they had some really good stretches with backup quarterbacks when they needed to, when Drew Brees was hurt. And
shit, man. He won a lot of games with noodle arm Drew Brees.
Yeah, I love some confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good about, thinking about Stidham and what he's worth, because yes, Jared Stidham sucks compared to the other quarterbacks that are left. He's the worst quarterback, and it is not particularly close. But he probably has I don't think Peyton's the best head coach of the four. I'm going to give that to McVay, clearly. But he's a really, really good head coach, and he historically has done well having to adjust on the fly. They're at home. He has a really electric defense. I really think he could put the game plan together to keep this game close. I don't see him winning this game. That would be a really tough ask. Being within, 3 to 5 points at the end, where obviously the market feels like it was starting to get too big, and some decent bets started to come in on Denver there. I get it. And like I said, there's still this chance that Stidham just does is it Peterman? Am I saying his name right? We had the
Nathan Peterman. Yes.
Peterman. I keep picturing the guy from Seinfeld. And I'm like, am I saying the wrong name? It is. They had the same name.
No, my opinion is softened strongly that this is just going to be one-sided, and the market was going to just have no interest in backing Mr. Stidham. There's obviously interest, and I get that too, because like your Bo Nix OC kind of combined rating has to be somewhat good based on how efficient they have been, particularly this year. Most of that efficiency, you can argue, was born out of somewhat safe, decision making as far as throwing the balls, and excellent ability of avoiding the sack. And granted, a lot of the ability of avoiding the sack should go to the offensive line. A lot of the ability in terms of the way that the offensive is schemed should go to Sean Payton. Both of those things are intact for this game. The only swap out you're doing is kind of a meh Bo Nix for a question mark Jared Stidham. And I think I would listen to an argument that there are positives in the unknown, because there's no tendencies in the book for the Patriots to lock in on and force Stidham to try to beat them with things they haven't seen before, because they haven't seen anything before. And I think you throw out all the, I would not say you should get excited about Stidham watching the preseason tape or watching any of his previous starts, just because like none of that stuff feels relevant at all for an AFC Championship game comparison. But the idea of Peyton having a relatively good scripted offense for at least for the first 15, if not the first half of this game, before the Patriots kind of understand what they're trying to do and then adjust to it, that feels real. And I think there's a scope for Broncos to be up in this game. Scope for Broncos to win the first half. There's scope for the Broncos to score into the high teens, low 20s. And then I think the question becomes like, if the Patriots are down and they're on the road, what is their scope for comeback in this one? And I think it's pretty good.
I do love McDaniels and May in comeback mode.
Yeah, not worried at all. Really.
This is a really good defense. As I mentioned, it's not. I put them on par with Houston. I think that was a folly. They're still very good, but The second half of the season has been a little quieter. Obviously, some teams have figured some things out. That pass rush is elite, but it is not.
Yeah.
It is not the best pass rush in the league is Houston, and it comes from just not only the two ends, but they have guys in the middle that can do it. And those, if it were not for Garrett, Will Anderson's DPOI, and if it's not for Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter's getting votes too. Yeah. He's amazing. That guy is second fiddle everywhere he goes and just never gets respect. He has like 100 sacks career, man. He's so good.
It's reasonable. So anyway, my most likely outcomes in this one, Patriots in comeback mode, probably, and winning by 3, 4, 6, 7, making this side probably right where it is, 4.5.
Yeah.
No,
so it's funny you mentioned first half. I did look kind of at the +3 first half and maybe some money line, because something I mentioned earlier in the week, and I think that has to be in your head is, you get this bump sometimes from, think about the Pasternaut, think about Mike White, think about some way shittier quarterbacks that have looked pretty good in week one. Because it's like, of course, yeah. we don't know what this guy's tendencies are. Yeah. We don't know. It's not the same as like facing a pitcher where you just know, like, hey, their tendency to throw certain things, but there are tendencies for certain quarterbacks in, during the play, knowing like, here's how often they try to hit these routes. Here's how often they check down. Here's how often they go to their first read. You don't really have that with Stidham. So I think it's going to be hard to, fully game plan, and some of it is going to be adjusting on the fly. So I do kind of like, and I'm probably going to bet some Denver +3 first half.
Okay, I like
that. You dogged on yourself a little, saying the market didn't move like you thought it would. The total did.
Yeah, I know. That's good. We'll get to the total in a second. Dirty Reg notes the Pat's pass rush was just as good as Houston's to me lately. Opponent adjustment, buddy.
Yeah. So
that's
the biggest
went up against the Chargers and the Texans at home so far in these playoffs. That is if you're saying like pick two playoff opponents back to back,
you would like your pass rush to go up against.
That you would like your pass rush to go against to make them look good and kind of throw the market off the scent. Those are the two you pick. I don't think it's even close call.
I have a lot of respect for that defensive line.
Yeah, sure. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying that they're almost certainly inflated based on that. And now you're going from 30 and 32 to 1 in terms of opposing offensive line. Is that about right for you?
Yeah,
1 or 2,
especially given the injury news that we've gotten, for Denver right now. It does seem like, Wattenberg was like a full go. It does seem like we are going to have the full offensive line for them. Yeah. Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant, they practiced.
Mims is banged up. You're probably looking at, you're going to need some, like, that's the thing. Like, if the Pats defense looks good in this game, in my opinion, it's because the wide receiving core for the Broncos can't create separation. Like, it's really a matter of creating turnovers for the Pats defense in this game. And they, without an idea of the tendency breakers to do it in the first half, but then the adjustments they make in the second half feels reasonable to me. And again, like I think the game state here looks pretty straightforward, where Broncos going to halftime with, I don't know, 14, 17 points, something like that. And then
that's what
they kind of end around there. Yeah. And the Patriots come back and eventually have a drive that they go ahead. And now you're asking Jared Stidham to come back in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. This is his first ever playoff start, and I don't love that. So I don't know. I think ultimately the Pats win and come through here, but I don't have the confidence to say you should be laying this kind of price with them, especially considering if you really, 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 really love the Pats and you really, really want Pats exposure, just wait until the scripted plays are over.
Yeah, you can do that. And second thing that I took away from, Tajan's Syed, and it wasn't something that was on my radar. And this is why I read their newsletter, because they're so deep into the weeds on how does this team do against this personnel,
tendency matchups,
tendencies, that sort of thing. And something I wouldn't have really keyed in on. I knew it's exciting that J.K. Dobbins is back, and it seems like, he was a limited participant. It seems like he's going to go. If he does go, obviously that's great. It felt like this is probably a spot where you're fine rushing him back if you want to, but that was a tendency that changed when he got hurt. They were pretty much neutral as far as pass rate over expected. When Dobbins got hurt, they started throwing a lot more. They weren't able to lean on Harvey as much and some of the other running backs because of Dobbins' absence. If he is back, it takes a lot of I think that takes a lot of heat off Stidham as well, because they're a better running team that way. They're able to run. And I don't know how I feel about Harvey getting as much play.
If I'm Peyton and I'm trying to scheme up against my passing game against the Patriots, Robert Spillane, find him, put Harvey in 5 yards off of him and force him to cover off ball is probably where
it does feel like if Dobbins plays, he probably has a decent game. You're going to be able to run the ball here with that offensive line. And to Sam's point, and again, I don't know if it's Harvey so much. It might be wide receivers. It might be Dobbins. It might be tight ends. The screen game is going to be huge because, how do you work against somebody if they're not able to get pressure? You're going to want to get pressure if you're able, and you're going to have to bring extra guys. If you're bringing extra guys, some of those screen passes are going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's flip the script and talk a little bit about the Patriots offense versus the Broncos defense. Broncos defense is overrated. Sorry if this is the first time you're hearing this. They will lock down, beat up, embarrass bad quarterbacks, bad offensive coordinators. That is fueling a lot of their advanced stats looking amazing. They will get beaten by good quarterbacks. And I put Drake May in that category, even if you feel like last week's fumble fest was more of an indication of how he's going to play in these playoffs from here in. But I think Drake May
you take last week, Drew, the throw to Booty.
That was amazing.
You take a couple fumbles if he has that in the bag. Yeah.
Live with it. Also, in the fumbles, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter were making such good plays. They were getting off the ball so fast, and it felt like the conditions didn't really
offside every time.
It did feel like it did. Yeah, it was so fast. They had no problem exercising their advantage over the overmatched O-line, and Benito could do it. Zach Allen maybe, but I'm not really scared by this Broncos defense really. I think you use Booty as your Pat Surtain kind of decoy, kind of move him away from where you actually intend to, drive your play call and attack Riley Moss, attack some of the linebackers in coverage. You can beat those guys with the weapons that you got in the passing game here. I think Diggs is definitely the guy I would expect to have the lion's share of the looks from May in this contest. Pop Douglas, nice matchup. Hunter Henry, excellent matchup in this one. I think wide receiver 2-3, tight end, running back. Actually, you want a prop? You want a made up prop here? Yeah. Over a half wheel routes to Travion Henderson that result in 30+ yards.
Yeah, you're getting the tight shot on him, and you're just waiting for a defender to show up in the picture, and it just keeps not happening.
Yeah,
and then finally one guy comes, he has a bad angle, second guy tackles him 32 yards later. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting work notes. The other kind of general, so basically, can Drake May do what everybody else has done against this Broncos defense, who is an elite quarterback? I mean, Josh Allen, if he has a B game last week, Buffalo wins going away, right?
Yeah.
It felt very, very. I'm drawing a blank here. Buffalo didn't punt, did they?
I don't think so. They had 5 turnovers and they scored 30 points. Where do you slip a punt in there?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not that crazy. Pat Mahomes used to do it to the same unit. Joe Burrow last year, remember the end of the year where it was a must win for both teams to get that 7th playoff spot? I don't think the Bengals punted in that game, right? Like if you have a quarterback who can deliver super accurate passes, particularly and attack some of the they did punt their head coach. That's a good point. Blance a lot. But the general kind of feeling I have is that Drake May is gonna probably have his like welcome to the NFL playoffs moment in the second half of this game as the Patriots come back and pull out the victory. So this is a long way of saying I like points in this contest. I think 40 what was the opener, 41.5, 42, something like that. This is well on its way to 43. My number is closer to 46. Oh, it's 43 already at Bookmaker. It's heading in the right direction. Yeah. I think that as long as if you can capture 43 and 44 right now, over 42.5 is a really, really solid bet. And I think there's a lot of outcomes where this lands in the mid 40s. And there are some outcomes where this just blasts through 40. Like this might not be a sweat. Weather looks good. Both these defenses a hair overrated.
The weather is up
really good offensive coordinators.
I don't think there's a chance. There's not like a chance of the precip / wind doesn't look like a thing, but the range of temperatures is still very much up in the air. It could be extremely cold. It just depends on if it clears out by then or not.
Okay.
Because obviously the Midwest is getting this super cold front. Denver's a little further west, a little further south. It kind of depends. They're going to be on the edge of that. It could be real cold or it could just be normal cold.
25-ish. Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah.
Cold with periods of clouds and sunshine. Low wind. Real feel warmer than the actual temperature because of the sunshine. How about that? Fun football weather.
Humidity.
All right. Not again like that. There have been 15 angles and 15 actionable angles in the last month that I think were better bets than this, but it's championship weekend. You got skin in it. Let's go over. Any pushback on the over here?
No, I can't disagree with you this time.
Which team more likely to make their team total?
What would we be sitting at? We're at like 24.5 and 19.5. Is that what we're going to be at?
Yep.
I mean,
it's good on top of your head, man.
Pat's getting to like 30, 35. Happens a bunch, and some of it could be short fields. I did have a good comment earlier. One point, Tom says, I haven't heard anyone bring up it's yes, Stroud turned over the ball a lot, but all the Pats offensive scoring drives were the length of the field. Yeah. When he wasn't fumbling, May had some really nice throws. His fumbles, it's crazy how it didn't turn into, oh, I lost the ball and they have a good shot at it. That was my takeaway was it wasn't so much that it was helping the Texans. It didn't help the Texans enough. Like they needed to recover a couple of those in those key spots, and that would have kept them in that game, and it would have scored, for some short fields because they were having such trouble getting their offense going. But yeah, Stroud had some really nice drives for sure. May had some really nice drives.
His pocket awareness was not great. His ability to hold on to the football when the pocket broke down was obviously hugely problematic. But it was bad conditions
tied together.
For that. Yeah, they are. And also Will Anderson was making amazing plays. We talked about this last week. I would have put him for DPOI even in a world where Myles Garrett sets the single season sack record. He was that impactful, in my opinion. Anyway,
I said last week I bet
and Will Anderson, would the Texans defense have been even better? That's an interesting hypothetical.
At least as good.
At least as good. Maybe a little bit better. Maybe a little. Anyway,
as I mentioned last week, I'm kind of going to the props. I bet Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson over 0.75 sacks. That was like my only bets pregame.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to not sweat it as they both kind of got him early enough. I don't think I like those as much with like Benito or Cooper or anybody this week. It's still like the left side of that offensive line shit, and the young man got kind of they were getting off the ball so fast. That's tough for any tackle, but a young tackle like that, I mean, he just got the shit beat out of him, man. It was bad. I think that's going to continue. But Josh McDaniels is a really good offensive coordinator. He knows it's another good set of defensive ends. He knows that side of the line's shit. Like you got to think that's going to be part of the game plan. Like, hey, let's let him beat us there. Let's have some blitz beaters over the top. Let's get the ball out fast. Let's start rolling out the other way. Let's bring a tight end in on that side. Obviously, you want to run more 11 because just get more wide. The more wide receivers you have out there, the better chance somebody is one-on-one with Riley Moss. Like, that's just kind of math. That's what do you want to call it? Scheme math, I suppose, at that point.
Funny note, Josh McDaniels as an offensive coordinator is unbelievably good in championship games, except in Denver. I think this might be, I don't fact check me on this, but I think his only losses at the championship game level have been in Denver, which is kind of a funny
they lost
wrinkle.
Those too.
Yeah.
Well, when you have Brady and Vinatieri and then Gostkowski, I mean, just the fucking shit was just clutch at the end of every single game, and the refs.
Yeah.
Injury wise for New England, Landry and Mapu didn't practice Wednesday, which is yesterday at this point. We're waiting for some good Thursday updates, obviously, on this time. Carlton Davis, concussion protocol. What else do we have? I know Landry, the knee injury is just the knee injury has been forever.
Davis is going to play. I don't think there is such a thing as concussion protocol at the championship game weekend level.
We'll see. I got him like 50-50.
I think he's going to play.
Yeah. Spillane still has the hand injury, but he was a full go. Henderson was a full go. Obviously, Davis with the concussion protocol was limited. So was Henry and Moses. Those are just rest things. And then, Landry and Mapu were the only ones that sat out yesterday. For Denver, the only person who did not participate was Bo Nix. He has an ankle injury. Both centers, though. I mean, like I said, Wattenberg was a full go. Alex Forsythe, he was a limited participant as well.
All right.
I'm gonna have some Broncos first half, and then if that turns out really well, I will go full heel on that shit and go, like, hey, Patriots -7 second half. If they're down by like 4, and they make me lay a touchdown, I don't care. It's gonna be Josh McDaniels' show in the second half.
All right, Nate game. You want to set the table?
The table is. It is a rematch, so we don't even need to talk about this. Let's just mash the two games that they played each other together. We should get that outcome. God, what was the total difference in those games? Like LA -1?
Yeah.
LA lost by 2 and 1, or won by 2 and lost by 1.
Right.
So those games, those games were very close.
LA by 1, easy.
Earlier in the week, I'd said I might just take some Rams to lay off some exposure that I have on Seattle. Seattle obviously would be a favorite in the Super Bowl no matter who they played, which would be nice. But the more I look at this, if you just put me in a bubble, I didn't have any futures, I probably still would play some Rams, maybe just straight up on the money line considering the price. If I got a cheap 3, I think I'd play that because I think it is, again, just going to be a close game. And I do worry about some of the injuries for Seattle. Obviously, Darnold looked great last week, but here's the thing. He got to front run the whole time against a pass rush that really wasn't going to do anything.
What pass rush?
Yeah, this is obviously a huge difference in difficulty against this pass rush. And bad news for, guess who missed practice yesterday?
Charles Cross.
Every single person who has ever played or could play or will play left tackle, not just Charles Cross, but Josh Jones and Amari. I don't know what is his name. Basically, all the left tackles, all 3 levels of left tackle were out, to the point where the beat writers are already kind of putting 2 and 2 together. There's a chance that if everything goes bad, Gray Zabel is playing left tackle for this team.
What?
They said because they just don't have anybody else that's played tackle. They might have to bump him out and then put like Mason Richmond at corner, or excuse me, at guard. Mason Richmond would be terrible at corner. But I mean, because it's either put Gray Zabel at left tackle and have a guy who's never started an NFL game at guard next to him, or put someone who's never started an NFL game, especially at tackle, out at left tackle against this pass rush. So situationally, we got to see what happens Thursday and Friday for Charles Cross. I don't think Josh Jones has a chance. Amari Kite, is that how you say his last name? Maybe. So it's not. That's the biggest issue for me. Obviously, the Arroyo thing possibly coming back would be good. JSN and DeMarcus Lawrence were just rest days. Same thing with Leonard Williams. They're going to be fine. Some of the other injuries are meaningful enough that they're worth looking at, but that worries me bad, especially obviously Byron Young has the knee injury.
Probably not going to play.
He missed a bunch of the game. That might be, I think he
somewhat
plays,
mitigating.
So it does mitigate it a little. I think he maybe is like, hey, he goes, but it's like 20 snaps kind of thing. Because they're just, the way it's sounding, there's not a chance that he's going to be 100% for Sunday.
Interesting. That's the only angle I had on the game, honestly. Sam Darnold under pressure turns into a pumpkin. We've seen it a lot, especially in the big games.
Yeah. So situational rest, obviously, as
that's
AJ points out,
very, very, very.
It
true.
does favor Seattle.
I think that's why we're at 2.5, almost 3, though. You know, last time when these guys played in Thursday Night Football, same location, Rams were at lesser strength defensively. Did Devontae Adams get hurt in that game or hurt before that game?
It was before. He didn't play.
He didn't play in that. So they didn't have Adams. They didn't have Lake. They were definitely a little bit less healthy than they are now. And Seattle got bet aggressively into the close to the tune of very funny interaction that you and I had on text message, which you never told people about. But every week I would text Andy about what he wanted to play in the Circa Millions. And he would send his ranked choice voting of top plays, and you put Seattle in there, and I was like, well, you definitely can't have Seattle, and you were like, yeah, I know, it was just a jab, and I was like, and you definitely wouldn't want to because they didn't cover the circle line, which was 1.5, and they won by 1.
Oh, I forgot that, yeah. I put him anyway, 10th at least, so we could use him. I forgot they did not cover the circle
they did
line.
Not cover. Anyway, it was basically the game was lined as these two teams are effectively equal. Maybe the Rams are a little bit better. The total was 41.5 at close at Bookmaker, which is substantially lower than what we're looking at right now, which I find interesting. And in general, I made my bets for this game at that time by taking future positions on the Rams. So I'm riding Rams.
Yeah.
I don't have much else.
I don't think you actually had any Rams that day, did you? You just had your futures.
Yeah.
Maybe you did. I was gonna say, it'd be funny.
I don't bet the Thursday games very often or very heavily.
We don't go head to head that often, but it would be funny. And let's just assume we were head to head that day because we kind of were. The two games that we were really head to head on this year were the look what I found 2-point conversion game that they won on a 2-point conversion, and we were head to head on Jacksonville, Houston, the most ridiculous. Where Houston was down by 1,000,000 points, and
Davis
somehow
Mills
came back and won that game.
Unreal.
So you were true accuracy.
Accuracy too, yeah.
But
for sure.
That's not how it works. Game isn't played on paper. Those were two of the most ridiculous games.
We did have.
Season.
I remember
the
for
most
sure.
ridiculous game, obviously, was Tennessee, Arizona.
Nominated. We'll be nominated for one of the second half live stream plays of the year. We had the second half over in that one, which was not close. I remember that one well.
Yeah.
Bet that one pretty hard. Anyway. So the market feels cool on the Rams heading into this game. And I think it's largely because they have played 2 games where they were healthy favorites in a row and probably could have lost to the Panthers, I guess. Should have lost to the Bears, maybe.
They were losing to the Panthers.
Survive in advance.
Yeah. Deep enough into the game where it was like, are we going to have... Because we joked about it. Oh,
so the playoffs are just going to be weird as fuck this year? Is that what's happening?
We joked about the Beastquake game. Like, hey, this team comes in and everyone's like, hey, we should change the rules because we can't have these shitty teams. And then they win. And in this case, they ended up losing by enough. But I guess they covered. But congrats to Carolina for putting up a really good game that day.
Yeah. I guess the reasons to doubt the Rams, if you want to, are McVay has gotten outcoached twice in a row now, but survived by the skin of his teeth because he put it together at the right time in the game both weeks.
Well, and that interception, that was such a outsized effort by one player and an undersized effort by the wide receiver who probably should have at least dove and got in the way of that. The Bears should have won that game.
Yeah, a wide receiver one breaks up the interception like Puka did against the Panthers that saved him that game.
Yeah, anyway. So that wasn't something McVay did. McVay wasn't having a great day either time in the playoffs so far.
He outthought it twice.
He cranked it up. He cranked it up in the fourth quarter against the Panthers, but honestly,
because he just was like, hey, you know what? I don't really know why I've been force feeding Devontae Adams, but I will stop. Okay. What?
If you want to take it a step further, how about the Arizona game, which they ended up winning handily, but there were moments in that game. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I remember I sat and thought, I'm like, is another team winning where this one doesn't matter now? No, this is still for the 5 seed.
They were losing in the third quarter of that game. To Arizona,
they have to win this game.
Defense.
We've had 3 weeks in a row where the start of the
game. 4 weeks.
Yeah.
The Falcons game. I thought that thing was over at halftime.
God, I forgot.
The Falcons game was awful.
I forgot how bad that got for me as a Falcons backer. I'm like, how are we doing this? We thought they just say uncle.
The last really good first half the Rams played was against the Seahawks. That's how far back we are now. There's definitely what is going on with McVay. Why is he overthinking it? There's definitely some second half of really especially the fourth quarter, if you're going to divide it up, including the playoffs of the season for Stafford, has not been as good as the first 3. Surely, he is the interception, the turnover-worthy play regression that everybody was expecting for a lot of the middle part of the season that just kept delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying. That's been hitting, and I don't really think. I mean, his issues weren't turnovers against the Bears; it was inaccuracy. It was cold as shit. Dude has a sprained finger. I'm not going to really lose any sleep over that one. I think the Rams win this game. I don't think it's pretty. And I think it's probably because whatever signal we got that their defense is playing up from last week carries into this week, combined with the fact that you're up against Sam Darnold, has a propensity to poop himself when he's facing significant quick pressure. And there's a chance that's what the world he's living in on Sunday.
Have you thought about this total at all?
I mean, the previous close being 41.5 makes me like the under, but I don't think I have the balls to take it. I haven't bet it. What do you think?
I kind of want to watch it. I was thinking about just the offensive matches, even with how good Seattle's defense is. McVay can either have a good scripted portion and outplay this defense with Puka and Adams, or if they end up down, the Rams have been very good as trailers. Obviously, we've seen that for a few weeks. We mentioned all these shitty starts. Well, they were good finishes. I worry about having an under here, feeling really good about it at halftime. And I think your worst case scenario for an under is Rams trailing because of exactly what we've seen them able to. It's not even adjustments. It's just all right, what are we doing? Like puka ball, good run, good outside run. Like, let's just do the things that worked all the time. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's just better. It's not even adjustment. It's just better play calling, it seems like. And even with Lake back, I haven't had a lot of respect for the Rams defense, the last couple of weeks, all the way back to Atlanta. Like, hey, you had one of the worst first halves I've ever seen from this defense. You gave up a bunch to an Arizona team that was quitting. You gave up a bunch to a Carolina team that you should have been manhandling. And then, the game was hard to, like you mentioned, it's hard to use last week's results seriously against maybe a standard NFL game because the weather was just so shitty. It was so cold. You had some decent defenses playing as well. So I think, if, like you mentioned, if that game is indoors, the total's in the 50s, which is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Once we get the Bears Dome in Gary, Indiana.
It would be irresponsible not to mention that there is one clear edge for Seattle in this one, and that is special teams. Their special teams is excellent, and the Rams is
that got mentioned. Paige was like, I don't want to ever use special teams as like something that's important, a reason that's important enough to like change how you feel about a game. But he's like,
we're pretty close.
This is like one of the best special teams units versus clearly the worst.
Yeah.
And Seattle special teams has gotten better with Shaheed housing punts, kickoffs, not just that, getting them better field position. The Rams unable to, seemingly do anything right. Kicks blocks, punts blocked. He mentioned something I hadn't noticed, and I guess somebody else had brought this up. I'm trying to think if it was Sycamore or he mentioned somebody else brought this up, that they should use both kickers because they passed on the other kicker because he couldn't make field goals, but he was a plus in kickoffs for field position, whereas the thicker kicker makes field goals, but he's kind of horrific at kickoffs. And that matters a ton with the new kickoff rules, and it matters a ton when Rashid Shaheed is back there. So he made a case for like, hey, you should have both kickers because you need one doing one thing, one doing the other thing. It's such a huge disadvantage for you that it's worth the extra roster spot, which is funny because it's like, shit, that's almost correct because, you don't have that many roster spots. You need to make sure you have depth everywhere. But it's funny because it is such an outsized disadvantage for them. And now they're going up against a great special teams unit.
Yeah, that's true. I want to kind of zero in on a final thought here about Rams offense versus Seahawks defense. The frustrating thing about watching the Rams Bears game last week was that the assignment was very, very obvious. Like, run the ball.
Hey, you know how you don't? Hey, remember how the Bears get all these magical interceptions?
Yeah.
Don't throw 50-50 ball.
Remember how like they only have one? Remember how like they only have one healthy linebacker? Run the ball. Take their D line out of the play. Get your running back to the second level. Let them do something awesome. Like that was pretty straightforward, and it took them a long time to get there. Thankfully, they got there on the final drive of the game. The writing on the wall for this game is also, I think, very obvious. Am I crazy? This is the game you should have Stafford throwing 50 times, not last week, right? The rushing attack is going to all be wasted downs.
Yeah, they have good linebackers. They have, honestly, even though they go light a lot with their secondary, they're all really good tacklers.
Of course.
And they all, what do you call it? Just meeting at the ball, finding the ball carrier from the secondary. Like they do a really good job of sealing up lanes, finding the angles, not letting that running back get extra yards. You should throw because you can throw against this team. I think both teams should, because it's not like I think much of Emmanuel Forbes, but he's hurt. And they're kind of thin at corner. Yeah. That's where I looked at this total and I'm like, this should be a close, maybe a bit of a grinded out game. The Rams ran the ball so well last week, but it feels like both quarterbacks, you can mitigate these pass rushes. Mm-hmm. Even if Seattle has no left tackle, like, hey, guess what? you can beat these corners, especially with JSN, with your tight ends who are getting healthier. Like both of these offenses should be able to pass the ball with a lot of success. And it feels like that's where I'd be scared off of an under. Even though I love an under in a divisional game late this season, you know?
All right. You ready for the bell on this? You tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how stupid this is.
7.
I bet the Rams then for the same reason I feel like you can bet the Rams today.
Yeah.
They've done this before. They've been there before. The experience, the coolness, the just the general, like, how are you getting across the finish line here? The margin between these two teams is nil. We know it. There is no margin. It will come down to, can you put together the right drive at the right time? Can you put together the right defense for the right moment? And can your quarterback, be cool, calm, collected, and execute when you need that conversion to not give the ball back, or you need that, 5 yard, goal. You need that drive to end at a touchdown, not a field goal.
Here's the other thing.
I don't have any questions about Stafford in those moments, and I have lots about Darnold.
I push back a little on that. That hand still isn't right. And it's going to be, it was way worse in the cold. His hand's not 100%, and it's his throwing hand. That can affect things. And even if it's 2 passes, if it happens on a meaningful third down, I mean, some of those are, hey, that was a 3-point swing. That would put us in field goal range. That was, you just lost 2.1 EPA on that pass because he sailed it a little. And, there's going to be a couple passes like that in every game. But if it's happening more than 2-3 times because his hand isn't right, that's worrisome. And the other worry is kind of a little pushback on the, hey, we've been here, we know what we're doing. It's not full Shanny, but McVay is like Shanny light in some of these spots where it's like, oh no, what are you doing? Like, you should be able to get this first down. Like it feels like there's a really good chance the Rams kick a field goal to go up by 6 late. Like, or something of that ilk where it's like, that's the wrong move. Everybody knows it's the wrong move. You did it anyway because you pooped your pants a little. And then it becomes a coin flip game at the end where, hey, you just gave them 4 downs, 2 minutes, 3 timeouts. And at this point, maybe it's a high scoring game and their offense has been moving the ball, where there's going to be a couple incorrect decisions by McVay late in the game. It feels like, in as far as like game theory, go for it, not go for it, punt, kick, whatnot. So that worries me a little about the Rams getting there. So I'll have Rams +3.
Okay. Stafford walks under lights, man. You should have lost that NFC Championship game to the Niners. They had a hit the guy in the fucking face. It was a punt, practically.
Oh, who was that?
I don't know. Ward? I can't remember.
No, it was. I remember that guy because that was
hit him in the face. And it hits the ground. They drive. They go up. Aaron Donald ends the game against Garoppolo, and the rest is history. Like, this has all of the kind of whiffs of that to me.
A tart. Jaquiski
was
tart.
it tart? It was tart.
Okay.
No. Should have ended the game.
You should see the
Niners go on
thumbnail
and
for
finally
the
win their Super
video.
Bowl.
The thumbnail of his laying on the ground with his head over his hands, or his hands over his head, like
this. Yeah,
I
can picture it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I just, the having gone through the gauntlet once, that matters. That's enough to overcome being on the road, being up against the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Having played them twice, having planned for it twice, like, I don't have any questions that they have the goods to put some pressure on this team.
I think the true X factor at the end of the game, besides Darnold's the obvious X factor. If he turtles, pumpkins, whatnot, it's over. The game's over. The true secondary one is the McVay pumpkining too. because I don't think you can say McVay is not the best coach left in the playoffs, but there's a really good chance at the end of the game you say McVay clearly was the worst coach in this game.
Yes,
like he has that in the bag.
Sure,
he can cost them this game if it's close late. Like he needs to either be trailing or up by 100. Like anything in between, I feel terrible with him at the helm. Like up by 2 to 3 points, I'm terrified if I'm a Rams backer. That's his wheelhouse for being a pussy.
You're right.
It's just scary. That's the fun part. And that's the fun part. Did you, I didn't get as far with props as I thought I would. Somebody brought up, some, what we'll see from Stidham as far as, completions or attempts or whatnot. But I don't know if I can get into some of those markets with Stidham and the Broncos without maybe live I can, because I really, like I mentioned, Sean Payton's so good at game planning for, hey, we don't practice fucked. Sean Payton does. Like I just don't know what we're gonna get. But for this game, it feels like we know what we're gonna get, at least from Seahawks and Rams. And truthfully, it's like the chalky, terrible garbage. Your buddy makes this parlay on Prize Picks thing. I just don't see a world where Puka and JSN don't absolutely eat against these secondaries. They're just too good of route runners, and you're gonna have to lean on the good ones here. I don't know how I feel about some of the running back stuff in this one, but like, what do you think? What do you think? Anytime touchdown for Kenneth Walker is going to be -200.
It'll be a big number, yeah. He was rushing leader of the weekend, like minus number, which I was like, "Oh, really?"
That's not
like because the thing about Kenneth Walker, he's boom or bust. Like there'll be some busts in this game that hurt them, kill drives. I almost promise you, but he'll have some booms.
Yeah, I can't recommend taking him to score, even though he almost certainly scores.
JSN to score is probably a better bet than K-Dub 3.
Some of the tight ends.
Yeah. I'm a little lost for props in this one. I'm with you. Yeah. Except I look, the most surprising outcome in this game is if the Rams win because their rushing attack goes off. Like it just hasn't ever happened to the Seahawks defense.
Not against Seattle. Seattle's rush defense is it's just so solid. There's not cracks. There's not good. There's a lot of the times where it's like, hey, this is a good run defense, except against this style of this run scheme. Like, hey, outside zone kind of hurts them a little. Just it doesn't matter what the scheme is, what the running back is, what the coach is. They've just been really, really good at stopping it no matter what. Is that it? Call it. We're gonna do a tight hour
in a game where the Rams did break 100 last time they played. Kyren Williams was, his yards after contact per attempt was like 1.5. Blake Corums was 1.1. Like I'm not seeing an obvious surprise positive for either of the Rams running backs. They need to do it through the air. Puka needs to have 10 catches. Devontae needs to contribute. The tight ends need to contribute. And honestly, McVay needs to come up with some offensive plays that break tendency and make the Seahawks guess wrong about run pass. I think that's kind of the best. Like if that's what's happening, that's my
plans is putting us on the spot.
You already said it. It's Patriots over 24.5.
Yeah.
They're going to score.
Let's go with that. Pats score. That defense has taken a mini step back, and they're going to be playing as front runners, it feels like, for parts of the second half.
Yeah. What?
Couple deep shots against Moss. Even if they don't catch it, it's like, hey, there's a 50-yard pass interference. Good for them.
Halftime.
You know what?
Second game.
Halftime. We'll do halftime of the late game. You know what? I am going to do a podcast tomorrow. It'll be short. Okay. Drew's going to be out, but I'll do a quick
Oscar
solo
nomination reactions.
we'll get to that at halftime.
Okay.
No, I'll just do a Friday injury roundup. It might be even in the afternoon, just so I can get like a good Friday injury roundup, so I can get that for anyone who doesn't want to go, read a bunch of articles, just wants 10 minutes in their ears. So I'll do a quick podcast tomorrow. Drew will be skiing for anyone, and someone did mention it in the Discord, for anyone worried about me with the exploding tree warning up here. Drew is a million times more likely to be killed by a tree this weekend. So, I mean, knock on wood, we don't want him to get hurt, but like, here's the thing about exploding trees. It's because it's 30 below out.
If
you're standing outside when it's 30 below next to a tree, what the fuck are you doing? It's too cold to be outside. Stay inside, watch some movies, eat some popcorn, stay warm under a blanket. Drew's going to be at what, Big Bear?
Mammoth.
Yeah. Stay away stay on the beaten path. Stay safe. Don't wreck a knee either. Jesus. I'm saying all the horrible things that could happen. What if you win a ski race against the bully like in the movies?
Save the mountain from getting bought by the billionaires.
Oh yeah, it's the billionaires and his son.
They're gonna ruin it. Yeah.
I watch Ski School.
No, my mind is very keenly aware of not getting hurt because I want to be able to ski in the Dolomites. Got to stay healthy.
I know every time I went skiing, even when I was younger, it's like, oh man, somebody like that guy went off the tabletop without jump skis. I can do it. And I get up there. I'm like, like, I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't even think at this point, I don't even do moguls. Knees can't handle that sort of shit. I like to go straight down a hill really fast.
And he's a groomer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do moguls still? That stuff's hard on you.
I'll do 2 or 3 a day, like 2-3 runs. Yeah, it's fun.
It's good for the hips.
It's good for
it gets the hips loose.
It just like gets my skis under me to like be able to do the turns right. If you don't force yourself, then you get lazy and you just don't want to turn. You just want to go straight.
Real quick, speaking you mentioned Oscar nominees. We got the finalists for awards as well. The NFL sent out the
list for the Divies is in.
No.
Oh,
it was the for the NFL honors came out. No real surprises. I mean, I don't think when there's 5 per, it's not like whenever there is somebody, it's like, oh, that's kind of it's like, well, yeah, but that person has no chance.
Yeah.
So nobody notable was left out. I think that would be the bigger surprise. So it is. I do have some very dead tickets on.
No snubs.
Assistant coach of the year. Jesus Christ.
Oh wait, was the protector of the year list?
It was. I'm going to email her back. I'm going to email this.
They didn't announce that?
No, it wasn't listed, seems
that's
crazy.
Terrible.
Like
who are our protector of the year finalists? We need to know.
I would have liked to know.
Landon Dickerson.
I have some dog. I did remember. I bet some Dawkins or something.
I do. Yeah.
I have to go see, but I think the only ACOI I had live was Vance Joseph.
He's probably going to win.
I do think he is going to win. That would be nice to get one home. So, looking forward to the awards here in a couple weeks and enjoy conference championship weekend. I'll catch you tomorrow. We'll both catch you at halftime of the night game, and then we'll see you. I don't know what we'll do between the 2 weeks between the Super Bowl, but we'll have some fun.
The Divies.
I know. Slideshow's going to be this year. Fired coaches.
Memoriam is
you guys set aside 8 minutes for that, guys.
What's
I'm gonna need 2 Sarah
McLachlan. Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the second Sarah McLachlan song gonna be?